Welcome to a different kind of conversation, one where we look at intimacy not as something purely physical, but something emotional, mental, and deeply human. The ancient Stoics weren't against love, desire, or connection. They simply believed that without discipline of the mind, those things could control us, weaken us, and even destroy us. Today, we'll uncover 13 Stoic positions, not in the way you might be thinking, but in the form of inner attitudes that lead to stronger, more honest, more resilient relationships. Let's begin. Number 1, accept what you cannot control. This is at the very heart of Stoic thought. The Stoics taught us that true peace comes from focusing only on what lies within our control and releasing everything else. When it comes to relationships, this means accepting that you cannot control how someone else feels, how they act, or how they respond to you. You cannot force someone to love you, to be loyal, or to stay by your side. Trying to do so only leads to frustration and pain. Instead, the power lies in choosing your own response, how you love, how you show up, and how you move forward with grace and integrity. Real intimacy is born not from ownership, but from respecting the freedom of the other person. When you honor their independence, the connection you share becomes authentic and lasting. Number 2, speak less, listen more. A true Stoic understands the power of silence. We live in a noisy world where everyone feels the need to fill every moment with words. But in relationships, silence isn't empty or awkward. It's a container for deep understanding. When you genuinely listen to someone without interrupting, without planning your next sentence, without judgment, you create a sacred space where their soul can breathe and be fully seen. Especially during difficult conversations or emotional moments, don't be quick to respond. Be quick to understand. This kind of attentive listening builds emotional depth, trust, and safety. Often it's not what you say, but how present you are that strengthens intimacy. Number 3, desire with detachment. This might sound paradoxical, but it's one of the most important lessons from Stoicism. To desire with detachment means to love without obsession or neediness. You want to be with someone, but you don't lose yourself in that desire. True intimacy is not about dependency or clinging tightly out of fear of being alone. It arises from freedom, from the conscious choice to be with someone because it enriches your life, not because you feel incomplete without them. When you cling less, when you stop trying to hold on so tightly, you allow love to flow naturally and grow in its own time. Love that is born from choice, not necessity, is resilient and liberating. If these Stoic principles resonate with you, I encourage you to bring them into your own relationships. Practice accepting what you cannot control, listen with your full heart, and learn to desire with healthy detachment. The peace and depth you seek in intimacy begin within yourself. Number 4, stay present in the moment. One of the most powerful lessons from Stoicism is the importance of presence. Intimacy isn't something you build by dwelling on the past or anxiously anticipating the future. It's cultivated in the here and now, in the small, seemingly ordinary moments that often go unnoticed. It's in the gentle touch of holding hands, the silent exchange of eye contact that speaks volumes, the shared deep breaths in moments of calm or tension. A Stoic practices being fully present, fully engaged, whether you're having a serious conversation or simply sitting quietly together. This presence, being completely there with someone without distraction or judgment, is where real connection is born and grows. It's in these moments that trust deepens and vulnerability feels safe. If you want your relationships to thrive, learn to show up not just physically, but emotionally and mentally as well. Number 5, reframe rejection. Rejection is one of the hardest parts of intimacy to face, yet the Stoics offer us a profound way to understand it differently. Rejection does not define who you are, nor does it diminish your worth. It is simply someone else's choice. And like all things outside your control, it's something you must accept without allowing it to shake your sense of self. Intimacy requires courage, the courage to be vulnerable, to open yourself up, knowing there is a risk of being turned away or hurt. But this courage is what makes connection possible. When you face rejection, try to see it not as a personal failure, but as redirection, an opportunity to grow, learn, and find people who appreciate and value you for who you truly are. This mindset frees you from fear and empowers you to keep loving bravely. Number 6, lead with integrity. For the Stoics, virtue is the highest good, and integrity is at its core. In relationships, this means being honest, reliable, and consistent, even when no one is watching. Integrity is about standing by your values and promises without compromise. It means never making commitments you can't keep or using love as a bargaining chip to get what you want. When you lead with integrity, you create an environment of safety and trust where love can flourish. People are drawn to those who are trustworthy and genuine because they know that their feelings and boundaries will be respected. Living with integrity isn't always easy, but it builds a foundation so strong that even challenges cannot shake it. If you want your relationships to last and deepen, let integrity guide your actions every step of the way. Number 7, care without dependency. One of the most profound lessons from Stoicism is the ability to love deeply without losing yourself in the process. It's a delicate balance, caring for someone with your whole heart while maintaining your own sense of identity and inner wholeness. A Stoic understands that true love does not mean dissolving into your partner or becoming emotionally dependent on them for your happiness or sense of self-worth. Instead, it means standing firmly as your own person, complete and grounded. While choosing to share your life with another, love should never require sacrificing your individuality or autonomy. On the contrary, love should enhance who you are, making both partners stronger, more complete, and more resilient. When you care without dependency, your relationship gains a solid foundation of respect and mutual support, free from unhealthy attachments or codependency. Number 8, be radically honest. Vulnerability is the cornerstone of real intimacy, and that requires radical honesty. This kind of honesty goes beyond just telling the truth about facts. It means being transparent about your feelings, your fears, your needs, and even your doubts. A Stoic doesn't resort to lies or half-truths to manipulate or avoid discomfort. Instead, they embrace the courage to speak clearly and kindly, even when the truth is difficult or uncomfortable. Honesty creates trust, and trust builds connection. The more open and genuine you are, the deeper your intimacy becomes. Deception, no matter how small, acts like a crack in the foundation of a relationship. It undermines safety and closeness. But when you commit to honesty, radical honesty, you create a space where both people can be seen fully and loved authentically. Number 9, delay gratification. The Stoics valued patience and long-term growth over immediate pleasure or satisfaction. And this mindset is especially powerful in relationships. It means resisting the urge to rush into physical or emotional commitments before the right time. Delaying gratification sharpens desire and cultivates self-control, allowing attraction and connection to mature naturally. Holding space and waiting is not about denial or repression. It's about honoring the process and giving your relationship the time it needs to develop real depth and meaning. When you avoid impulsive decisions, you build a foundation that is more resilient and lasting. Delayed gratification teaches you to appreciate the journey, to savor the small moments, and to respect the rhythm of love as it unfolds gradually, with patience, intention, and care. Number 10, protect your inner peace. This is one of the most essential yet often overlooked principles when it comes to intimacy and relationships. No matter how deep or meaningful a bond may feel, no one is ever worth sacrificing your peace of mind. The Stoics teach us to guard our tranquility above all else because emotional chaos, confusion, or manipulation can easily disrupt our well-being. If you find that someone consistently brings pain, drama, or uncertainty into your life, it's not a sign of weakness to step back. It's an act of self-respect. Intimacy should never feel like a battlefield or a constant struggle for survival. Instead, it should be a refuge, a safe harbor where you can feel calm and grounded. Your inner peace is sacred, and protecting it is not selfish, it is necessary. When you prioritize your own emotional stability, you create a foundation that allows love to thrive in its healthiest form. Number 11, see the bigger picture. Emotions are powerful and often overwhelming. Anger, hurt, frustration, these feelings can flare up unexpectedly, clouding judgment and tempting us to act impulsively. But a Stoic learns to step back and zoom out, to view conflict from a wider perspective. Ask yourself, will this argument or hurt feeling matter in a week, in a year? What is truly important here? Emotional maturity isn't about suppressing feelings. It's about choosing the long-term health of the relationship over short-term ego satisfaction or the need to be right. Arguments come and go, but damaging a relationship over a fleeting moment of anger can leave scars that last a lifetime. When you learn to see beyond the heat of the moment, you gain clarity and wisdom, and your relationships become more resilient, more compassionate, and more deeply connected. Number 12, let go with grace. Sometimes, despite our best efforts, a relationship reaches a point where holding on does more harm than good. The Stoic understands that letting go is not a failure or weakness. It is a courageous choice to seek peace rather than cling to pain or attachment. Walking away from someone who no longer values or respects you takes immense strength. It means you don't beg to stay in a place where you're not wanted, and you don't desperately hold on to something that's falling apart. Letting go with grace means releasing the past without bitterness or regret, honoring what was, and trusting in the possibility of new beginnings. This act of surrender opens the door to healing for both yourself and the other person. True intimacy includes knowing when to hold on tightly and when to release gently, choosing dignity and self-respect every step of the way. Number 13, love without attachment. This principle stands as the ultimate teaching of Stoic wisdom when it comes to intimacy and connection. It's easy to misunderstand what love without attachment means. So let's take a moment to explore it deeply. Loving without attachment does not mean loving less or caring any less deeply. In fact, it means the exact opposite. Loving fully and sincerely, but without the need to possess, control, or hold on to someone tightly out of fear or insecurity. Attachment is often the root of suffering in relationships because it ties our happiness and sense of security to another person's actions, feelings, or presence, things we cannot ultimately control. To love without attachment is to recognize love as a gift, not a chain. It's the generous offering of your heart without the demand or expectation that the other person must meet all your needs or fulfill all your desires. It means you love someone as they are, with their flaws, their imperfections, and their freedom intact. You don't try to fix them, mold them, or change them to fit your ideal. Instead, you accept them fully and cherish the unique person they bring to the relationship. This kind of love is a freedom within love, a freedom that allows both partners to grow individually and together. It creates a safe space where vulnerability can thrive because there is no fear of losing love if someone fails to meet expectations or makes mistakes. It's a love that embraces uncertainty, knowing that nothing in life is guaranteed, yet choosing to love wholeheartedly anyway. Loving without attachment also means cultivating a deep inner resilience. Your sense of self-worth and peace are not dependent on another's presence or approval. You are complete on your own, and your love is an expansion of that completeness, not a patch to fill a void. When both people in a relationship embrace this principle, it leads to a connection built on trust, respect, and genuine intimacy, not on neediness, possessiveness, or control. In practice, loving without attachment might look like this. You care deeply for someone, but when circumstances change, or if the relationship shifts or ends, you accept it with grace and peace. You don't cling desperately or fall into despair because your happiness does not hinge on holding on. Instead, you appreciate the time you shared and trust in the flow of life to bring what's best for both of you. This kind of love is liberating and transformative. It frees you from the chains of fear and insecurity and opens you up to the purest form of connection, one that honors freedom, growth, and true presence. Loving without attachment is a practice, a daily choice, and one of the greatest gifts Stoicism offers to anyone seeking meaningful and lasting intimacy. These 13 Stoic positions aren't tricks or tactics. They're principles, rooted in ancient wisdom, proven through time. They ask for discipline, self-awareness, and inner strength. But in return, they offer a kind of intimacy that isn't based on neediness or fear, but on mutual respect, presence, and deep, grounded love. Which of these will you start practicing today? Let me know in the comments. And if you're on a journey of self-mastery and emotional growth, consider subscribing, because this is just the beginning.